Welcome to Nobody Knows with Joe Coffee, powered in part by Classic of Denton.
Hey, what's up? I'm Richie Flo. I'm with Denton Radio. I'm here with
Christopher.
Christopher, how are you doing today, man?
Never better my entire life.
What do you think about Joe Coffee? Have you been listening to his show?
Unfortunately, no, sir. I apologize.
No, it's all good. Okay, so you are familiar with comedians like Jeff Osworthy, Kevin Hart, Dan Danzy, people
Absolutely,
like this?
yeah.
Okay, so what do you think about kind of Denton kind of taking that same, the same, like, funny and bringing it here?
That sounds like fun. Yeah, sounds like fun.
What do you think the main message for people like Jeff Dunham and Dan Danzy and people like that, what do you think their message is?
I'm not sure they really have a message.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as, like, you said Jeff Dunham?
Or? Yeah, the puppet guy.
Yeah. I'm not sure what kind of message he's really bringing to the world, except just, like, his comedy, honestly.
Yeah,
he doesn't really
just
have,
be funny.
He's, like, making fun. Yeah, he's making fun of everything.
Yeah. You've never heard of Dan Danzy?
Not at the moment.
All right, what's your name?
My name's Jack.
I'm here with Jack. We just climbed inside of the courthouse because he didn't know you could come in here.
No idea.
What do you like in a Denton comedian?
Being impromptu, yeah.
Yeah? Do you know Joe Coffey?
I don't know Joe Coffey.
Have you heard of Joe Coffey's show, Nobody Knows?
I had not, no.
You know Dan Danzy?
I don't know any of these people.
Dan Danzy, that's a cool name.
Dan Danzy's his name?
Mm-hmm.
That's his real name? Hey, bro.
Is this him?
Yeah.
What's your name, dude?
Agustin.
Agustin? I'm Richie. I'm doing a radio show for Denton Radio.
Oh,
what do you think about the comedy scene in Denton?
It's actually pretty good, yeah. I was actually thinking of going to the comedy show tonight at the Harvest House.
The Harvest House, yes.
At 9, I believe.
9 o'clock.
What do you think about Joe Coffey?
Yeah, he's pretty funny, yeah.
He doesn't know who he is.
He was here on the comedy show with the A&J's.
Yeah, for the
first annual comedy show.
Mm-hmm. What did you think? What would you tell him about Joe Coffey?
Sarcastic.
Very sarcastic. Hi, I'm Richie Flo, and I'm with
Brody McElhaney.
And
Amy Lujan.
Are those y'all's real names?
Yeah.
Those like AIM names. That would be like my AIM name. So Joe Coffey has a show on Denton Radio.
Cool. I don't know. Don't even know him.
What about the name Joe Coffey?
Never heard of it.
Does it sound cool?
Yeah.
So what do y'all think about the comedy scene out here?
I mean, I don't know.
You've heard of comedians like Jeff Osworthy, Kevin Hart, Dan Danzy, people like this?
Yeah.
Okay. You?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
I've never really been to any shows down here. So.
Y'all know, what's your favorite, like, you like people like Jeff Dunham and like Dan Danzy?
Yeah. I kind of like older dudes.
Yeah. Dan Danzy's one.
Yeah.
What's your name?
I'm Jamie.
Jamie. I'm Richie from Denton Radio. I'm on a show with Joe Coffey.
It's cool. Sounds cool.
You like Joe Coffey?
Never heard of him.
Do you like his comedy? Are you a comedy fan? Oh, we can go. Let's walk.
It's, sometimes.
Who's your favorite local comedian?
I don't know any local comedians.
What do you think about Joe Coffey?
I mean, I'm sure he's a great guy.
What about you?
I have no,
Who's the funniest person you know in Denton? Him?
Sure.
Him? Yeah?
Yeah, no.
Are you really funny?
No, she thinks I have lame jokes. I make dad jokes a lot,
Like what? Give us one.
I don't know. It has to be on the spot. It has to be natural, man. You can't just throw them out there.
Yeah. Are you a dad?
No.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, I start early,
Who's your favorite comedian in Denton?
I don't know. I have my friend Joe Coffey sounds good, I don't know.
What's your favorite Joe Coffey joke?
My name is Joe Coffey, and I'm here.
That's awesome.
Nobody knows Joe Coffey.
Nobody knows Joe Coffey.
Thank you.
I don't know. Don't even know him.
What would you tell him about Joe Coffey?
Sarcastic.
Nobody knows Joe Coffey.
Nobody knows Joe Coffey.
Nobody knows Joe Coffey.
Nobody knows Joe Coffey.
Oh, I did not know. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Sure. Nobody knows Joe Coffey.
Nobody knows Joe Coffey.
Hey! Now just go wop.
What?
Perfect. Did you laugh?
No.
1, 2. A 1, 2. How do you do? I don't know how to count.
Well, let me see. So what's after 3?
It's a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows Joe Coffee.
Nobody knows Joe Coffee.
And nobody ever will. Thank you.
Nobody knows Joe Coffee.
Yes.
Nobody knows Joe Coffee.
Nobody knows
All
Joe
right.
Coffee.
Despite a little bit of Wi-Fi issues, episode 19. Here we are. Nobody knows.
19.
Yes.
Remember when you were 19?
Do I remember when I was 19 years old? Is that the question? Is that what you're asking me? Do I remember when I was 19?
Yes.
I do not. What do you remember about being 19 years old? How old are you right now?
19,
You're-
20.
How old are you right now?
I'm 28. 19 was what, 11 years ago?
Yeah, that might be the math. Probably not. I'm not really. I'm not doing
It's
that.
9 years ago.
I'm
dude.
not.
just
I'm
kidding.
sharing this for views, and I
Yeah.
asked you to help me. All transparency, you know. We're having a little bit of
Jeff
Wi-Fi
Dunham,
issues. I
Dan
asked,
Danzy.
My favorite part of that intro was the guy going, "I'm a fan of old people
Yeah.
doing comedy." Like Dan Danzy? Yeah.
like Dan.
Like I'm only 30.
No,
You're 30, right?
Yeah.
And Richie's 28. I'm 26. What do you remember? What is the one thing you remember about being 19?
The one thing I remember about being 19 was nothing. I went to concerts a lot. That was my concert.
I remember getting my
phase.
hair cut once a
Oh,
week.
don't remember anything though, huh?
Yeah,
Those
I don't
concerts?
remember like any particular. I just went to a lot of concerts and just did a lot of open mics.
That was also, I was doing a lot of getting haircuts.
A lot of, And
No.
now what are you doing a lot of since you don't have
Not
Getting
gotten
more
a haircut?
haircuts.
Not getting haircuts.
Always getting haircuts.
Clearly
No,
not.
there was a time when I thought that it was necessary to get a haircut every week. By the way, I'm not trying to I don't know if I'm saying too much, but Joe's actually going to cut his hair soon.
I did want to completely buzz all my hair off because I really don't like dealing with actual issues of having hair. Like, it's a lot to have to deal with. And right now I'm getting that weird SEC haircut where it, like, flips out all weird, you know? Like, I look like
I wouldn't call it a haircut. You mean a hairdo.
I do. You're right. I'm getting that. It's getting that frat
A
boy
hair
flip.
don't.
I grew
The
out
hair
this.
don't,
I
yes.
grew out this
Don't.
haircut to look like this.
Well, I'm getting the frat boy flip right now, and so I'm trying to. I was trying to dissolve that, and so I was gonna buzz all my hair off, and there is a certain political climate that I think might might disagree with me. And now that the actual climate is about to get a little bit colder, it seems pointless, but I don't want to deal with hair.
I'm getting my haircut soon.
No, you're not.
I
You're cutting
am.
off the long. For the audio listeners, Dan has you're a silver fox. You have a
Thank
silver
you.
mane.
Well, this is the first time I've grown it this long because my mom would always make me get a haircut. So when I turned 30, I was like, the heck with it. I'm just going to grow it out long. Here's
Yeah.
what I learned. My hair is so thick that when I get my hair wet, it is really heavy. And I actually pulled a muscle in my neck. And I still have, I'm still... Like
your hair
going
so
through
heavy?
it, yeah. Like I pulled a muscle in my neck, and now it's gone down to my shoulder blade.
You need to
So what are you
therapy.
cutting it to?
I'm just gonna cut it just to a short length.
To a short
donate
length.
the hair to
Let me see how long it
to
is.
Wigs for Kids.
Oh,
Yeah,
I wish we would have pulled the Wigs for Kids. We were gonna pull your Wigs for Kids jokes. On
yeah,
the video
yeah.
today.
Oh,
Because
and
you have a
that's-
joke about that. talking
and that's
about.
another reason. I mean, it's a challenge to change that.
So since you're not doing the joke, can we tell that story? Is that a true story? The actual situation of that joke, or is
No,
Because I've
no,
talked
not
about
at all.
I've talked about often on this show how a lot of jokes are. They stem from
lot
real
of-
places, but it's not always a true story.
It
So that's-
stems from like thinking actually okay, I'm gonna get it to a certain length and I'm gonna donate it, and the joke comes from like thinking, like being insecure basically in my head, like, oh well, what if they don't want me to donate it because it's gray, and then that's how the joke just kind of worked
It's
itself.
a funny joke.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that joke a lot.
In my head, but I do eventually have to donate it, and when I get a cut, just change the joke, and it'll be a
You're gonna
challenge for
change
me.
a kid's life to Mr. He's gonna become Mr. Fantastic
Ugh.
within the night.
I feel bad for whatever kid gets my hair. Even if they give it to a kid, they might just
Silver-haired devil.
they might just throw it in the back.
I mean,
of like
that
a,
could be super.
He's gonna look like
for a
Race
movie
from
hair,
Johnny
you know what I mean?
Quest.
That hair could be in a movie one day. Like,
Yeah.
your hair could be a movie star one day.
Super villain. He'd
Just
have to
my
play
hair.
A villain, right? A villain
I
or
have
just
Quicksilver.
my
No,
hair.
like I have really good high hopes for your
For my hair.
I don't. Who knows what it can do? I could see your hair soaring.
I actually don't remember the specifics of this. Weren't you gonna do something with some local thing that was being filmed out here for a while? Wasn't there a Fox thing or something that you were maybe auditioning for last? I mean, when we had talked like a while back. Last thing I talked to you about concerning. Okay, The Gifted.
The Gifted.
Isn't that out right now? Did I not
that
see a commercial
out.
for that on football or Sunday?
What happened, and I know a lot of people went through the same thing I did. What had happened was, like, when a big studio production comes to a city like Dallas, you get fake agencies.
Oh.
And so, like, I was contacted.
I've seen a lot of those on the internet at times.
Yeah.
Too. Craigslist, you have those notorious, like the fake ones for extras.
Exactly.
You know, like, we need so many extras.
And I would have picked up on that, but, like, they emailed me and they were like, hey, you know, your comedy's great. You have this great hair. We want you to audition
Did you send
for a
them,
role.
like, did you send them some video of your comedy? Or
No, they
like,
just emailed me out of the blue.
So they snake oil salesmen.
They did.
They straight up, they looked you up and they were like, oh, we're huge fans.
It wasn't until 3 days before the audition where they like called me and they were like, oh yeah, you're gonna have to bring $90. And my fiance's in film and she's like, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's not how it works. My fiance told me.
You bring 90, you bring 90, we'll pay you 80.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
And you know, it was really disappointing. And but no, whatever. I moved on.
I got paid $1 when I was like 12 to be in a Reliant Energy commercial. I never saw the commercial, but
I think that's a good thing to talk about on here, because we often talk about like little tiny ins and outs of like stand up or even certain things like within show business and fake auditions or fake TV shows. I remember when I first started doing comedy, I auditioned to write for a show that was going to be produced. It was in Dallas. They rented out this big room in the mall. They started building the bleachers. They were going to film this live reality, some stupid whatever their form of The View, and they hired me on as a writer and promised this salary, and like it wasn't The View, but it was a talk show
if
kind of.
Anybody knows the mind of a woman,
yeah,
it's Joe Coffey.
We need a writer.
Well,
and stat.
And they
Joe Coffey.
And it was I think it was, he was pitching it either for, I forgot, it was BET or for another channel, and they promoted it as looking for a comedic white writer. And so that's what I went in for. And
Was that what you auditioned for?
That's what I auditioned for. And he put me on. He's like, we'll put you on salary, but for now, I'll if you just come out until we get the show running, I'll pay your gas, your meal, and I'll throw you $20+. At the time, starting comedy, that was like, cool. I'm writing for some terrible show. I knew I didn't want to be a part of it, but I thought it'd be cool to get those chops in, you know?
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, that guy eventually ended up blocking everyone from Twitter, losing his rent in that mall space.
Of course.
And it was gonna be called, and I think he didn't like me from the start when they told us the title was gonna be called "Whose Line Is It?" Not "Whose Line Is It Anyway?" Just "Whose Line Is It?" And I was like, okay. I was like, I don't think raising my hand at me. I was like, I don't think we can.
I wonder why it never got off the ground.
Yeah, I wonder.
That's a lot of.
That's
a
the
lot
thing.
Of things
Fake
up here,
auditions and making you, go audition and. I don't get it.
Auditions
I know there's
weird.
it's a big thing.
It's not that they're fake. It's just that the people running them have high hopes.
There are some fake ones though.
There are some,
but they have movies and stuff that aren't.
The auditioning
actually
experience in general is a weird thing. Like I recently just did Tony an audition for Tony's short film. He's doing it at the UNT Short Film Club. And Tony gave most of the comics advice. He's like, look, we know you can be funny, but you need to have a dramatic monologue. And I was like, okay, cool. So I woke up at like 12 that day, and the day before they got done at like 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I thought they were going to get done at 6 that other day. I looked at it wrong. They got done at 2 that day. So I wake up at 12. I look at the Facebook. I'm like, all right, cool. I used to do theater. I was like, I can memorize a monologue real quick, something I'm familiar with.
It's just like theater auditions.
Oh, man. And I also woke up out of town at my parents' like Flower Mound. So I had to drive the 30 minutes because I had stuff to do at my parents. I drove the 30 minutes playing Christopher Walken's Pool Hall Junkies The Lion speech on replay. I couldn't even read it. I just kept rewinding it and memorized it. Went in, totally bombed the dramatic aspect of the audition. And I realized it too, and I told them, I was like, okay, so I'm a comedian. They want me to do something. And I was like, can I tell you guys a joke? And they were like, sure. I did one of my jokes. And then I kind of made fun of the room because it was a real, like, a leveled room with these long desks. I was like, this is the weirdest UN meeting I've ever been to. They laughed because I know as soon as I left, one of the guys was like, this is a really weird UN looking room. But so I left thinking, just feeling dirty because I hadn't done an audition.
Feeling dirty.
Because I hadn't done an audition since like high school theater stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just felt like if audition, especially when you're doing something like a dramatic audition and there's not the like feedback you're used to getting on stage. It's not immediate. You don't really know how you do. It's dramatic. They're just watching. They're studying you, and it's this vulnerable moment. So I walked out feeling dirty. And a couple days later, Tony Casillas, we've had him on the show. You guys know Tony, and he's the one who wrote the I guess script for this short film that UNT Short Film Club's making, and he told me, "Oh, congratulations, you made it." I was like, "Oh my god, I made it!" I was like, "What role?" And this is how much they believe in my range. I got a bitter open mic host. So
That's typecasting.
It was very tight.
That one time I asked you if you could cry on cue. I asked Joe one time if he could cry on cue, and Joe said, and I quote, "Yeah, I can. It's the stopping I have trouble with."
It still is. It still is. And that's a really funny, that was a funny response, and I tried to, convert that somehow to a joke on stage, and it never worked. That's a good status. It worked good as a tweet, so.
I just loved it. I still laugh to this day when I think about what you said.
So what's been up with you, man? What have you been doing?
Oh man, mostly
you've been busy doing some comedy stuff.
Next month is one of the busiest months I've had in a while.
Halloween's coming up.
This upcoming.
Yeah, I'm trying to select
bunch
a
of costume parties.
For those that don't know, Dan's a big comic book fan, and he cosplays every day of October. So
I do not. No, I don't. I don't.
October is really, really big for me.
I know you don't. He does not cosplay. You do go to Comic Con.
I do go to Comic Con.
Did you go to Anime Con? I know Tony recently went to.
No, because it's the same thing.
It's just a cheaper version, right?
It really is, except it's
but
just
don't you
more
want to go to
emphasis on
two?
anime.
Yeah, you hear that, Anacon.
You've been to
if there was a cool convention where just cool people would go, I don't want to go more than just once.
Cool Con.
But it's the same thing. Look, they label it differently, the 3 or 4 of them. But if you've been to one, you've been to them all.
I've never been to any of them. I've wanted to go to Food Con or something Food Con. Just tons of food.
That's just Austin Street Truck Stop.
That's the state fair.
Or audition
state
con.
Fair, yeah.
State fair. That's what that is. That's Food Con.
Chinese buffet.
Audition con is
Chinese buffet. Chinatown Cafe. Holler at us if you want to sponsor
If I went to all 4 cons in 1 year, I'd totally be broke.
4 cons. So
yeah,
Anime Con, Comic Con, and what else?
Sci-Fi Con, Fan Days, and then Comic Con.
There's not.
You said Band-Aids?
There's
Fan
not one.
Days.
Fan Days?
Fan Days.
There's not one in Denton, is there, Jake? There's no we don't have a cool kind of nerd Comic Con anime or anything in town here, do we?
It's most days.
Well, Freaks and Geeks does a lot of cool stuff
like
that, but I don't know if they have something you could really compare to Comic Con.
Dude, Freaks and Geeks used to take all my money, and then they took away the comic books. They used to have the coolest selection of the old school comic. Let's not get into that.
Why would you take away comic books?
It hurt me because I guess they felt
I will
they
say
didn't want to compete with more fun, but they used to have a really cool selection of old school comic books, and they took all my money.
More Fun is one of the best. I won't want to call it a hole in the wall, but it's one of the best comic
location.
stores.
It's not a hole in the wall. It's not. It's not as big as when you see other comic stores with the
but
inside.
They have everything.
Everything. Yeah, they packed
do,
up
and it's just it's great. If I need to find a particular comic, it's always at More Fun.
Yeah, you should see Richie.
There's
in
just
there.
so much.
You should see Richie in there trolling them whenever I go look, because Richie's not interested in comics. So he does magic tricks, or he'll ask him. Richie, it's like the street interviews you see on this show.
Are done in More Fun.
I'm like,
for those that don't know, Richie
he's like,
I'm
just gonna look around for 4 minutes. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go talk to someone.
And naturally, it lasts longer than 4 minutes, but naturally, I'm ready to leave before Richie is.
I'll walk up there with a can opener, a Coke bottle opener, and be like, what is this? Is this an actual Batman Batarang? And they're like, no, it's just a bottle opener.
Well, and for those that are almost 20 episodes in that don't get your way of messing with people, Richie, his famous line, if Richie sees someone with a dog, the favorite thing I've seen Richie do, they'll walk by they'll walk in their dog, and he'll be like, "Oh my God, is that a dog?" And I go, "Oh, is that a dog?
Oh, is that a dog?"
That's it.
People are like, what do you think?
And they
what
almost
could
stop.
it be?
They almost don't want to stop and talk to him, but you can tell they kind of have questions. They need them answered.
That was level 1, and then
level 1. He has a black belt Richter scale.
I was standing next to someone holding a baby, and I was like, "Oh, I could say that here."
God.
So I go, "Oh, is that a baby?" And the mom just was like, looked at me like, "What? Of course it's a baby.
God.
Like, what do you mean? Is it a baby?"
I wish I had enough just guts to do
Oh,
that to
is
people
that a
in person.
tumor? Like,
Yeah.
at what point do you stop?
I could do that on stage, but walking up to somebody just random out of the blue and
That's
trolling
what-
them, I can't do that.
Here's the thing.
It's
so,
funny how many comics like I see around. Like me and Dalton Pruitt, I guess, hang out with you more than most. And we'll be walking with him, and Dalton. First off, his set is he's in your face. He's a very there comic. He's very in your face. And then off stage, he's nothing like that. Kind of similar to me. Or we'll be walking with Richie, and he'll do that, just that it's actual, and it's real life comedy is what it is, and it is so funny, and it literally cracks me up on the inside, but it's something I'm like, man, I could never, do that.
Yeah. I don't know. I hate awkwardness.
And you do it for nothing too. There's no game. There's
I
nothing
mean,
being recorded. There's a personal gain.
There's the one it's way too long to tell right now, but.
Richie once faked someone to think they were on a hidden camera game show in front of me, and he made them do tricks in the middle of the street, convinced them a school bus, a car, this guy reading the newspaper were filming them.
This guy took his shirt off and
I'm
was
just standing there.
Like, it got out of hand. And,
and
afterwards he goes, "What was that?" I was like, "I don't know. You should have taken so long." Like, he was just like fixing his comics, and I was like,
"Yeah,
hey, hold on. These
Richie
guys
got
are
bored
walking
within a
towards
couple
us.
of seconds." And
I love how you're fixing your comics.
Fixing my.
What does that even mean?
No, more fun. They don't put the comics in the sleeve.
Oh, yeah. So you got to do it yourself.
Which I guess that kind of makes sense.
I guess.
Yeah. So he's putting the sleeve.
I'd say preserving the comic.
I found a perfect opportunity. I thought that making a hidden camera show that's not really a hidden camera show, but they thought it was. I mean, they were like,
so harassment.
What is this for?
Harassment.
Yeah.
That's what.
They go, what is this for? At first, they didn't want to do it. I go, hey, y'all want to be on this hidden camera show? And they're like, well, what's it for? And I was like, YouTube? They're like, yeah, we're down.
No,
we'll do it.
Yeah, I thought it was, they were asking, where can we find this? And you were just like, YouTube. And they walked away like, okay, we'll look for it.
Yeah.
On all the couple of videos.
We got them to like sign their name and say that we could use it, and I always do
ridiculous.
that. I always
we
didn't do anything.
Yeah,
first off, I stood there and tried not to laugh or apologize to these people. I didn't know what to do.
Y'all are gonna go to jail.
But I'm
not doing anything.
I do this a lot, and every time I try to find an item that's random and I go, okay, can you sign
holding
this
a coffee cup?
Can you hold this coffee cup and just sign it? And they like sign. I go, okay, now this is a legal document. We have you saying that we can use the footage if you like try to sue us or anything. I'm just saying that I can bring this in the court of law. And people just agree to it. And I did that in front of Dalton.
That's because most people don't know the law.
Yeah, and Dalton was like,
most people
why did those
anything.
people just sign that coffee cup? And I go, because I convinced them it was a legal document in the state of Texas and could be used as evidence against them.
You are one of the most interesting people I've ever met, Richie.
Also,
I think I've told you that before.
I think it has to do with some of the sense, like Richie also, like the personality you have, the very forwardness of your cadence, and also the way you look. I think it's also people aren't scared of you, but they're just willing to do whatever you say to get them, like to get you away, to get you going. They're like, yeah, I'll sign the cup, whatever, crazy man, and then they go.
But as a
it's
stranger,
kind of a genius thing because either way you're going to get done what you want done because it's like a psychological thing.
It's like a hobo's mentality, but like if a hobo didn't want money or a cigarette, just wanted attention for 10 minutes.
Entertainment.
Well, and that's the thing is my experiences with strangers.
Hobo the clown.
As a stranger, you get one of two things. You get either, hey, let me show you this magic, and then I like have this experience with you for 20 minutes where you just thought I was going to show you magic, but now you like. I talk about your whole family and stuff.
Yeah, but now I want to know you. I want to like get to know you.
Or I don't do magic and I just walk past you and say some crazy thing that I want you to think later. That guy say?
Yeah, he definitely does the thing where like if he sees someone walking by and he's like, and then he said to me, and he'll say the most vulgar. Whatever, and then it's
or even it doesn't have to be.
Stand in that
I can
moment.
be like, yeah. Then my mom came in and we just made little mini fortune cookies, and someone will be like, wait,
literally
mini fortune cookies? Why have I never heard of that?
Misty and I, and he does it by himself too, because Misty and I, we were in town. This was a couple weeks back. We were driving like down here, and we were at the light, and we look over, and there you are doing magic.
Oh, for sure.
To like a random, and
yeah,
she's, is that Richie? I was like, yeah. What's he doing? Magic, and she had no idea you did magic at the time.
Yeah,
and she was like, he just does that. He just stands on the square and does magic. Yeah. Does he do it for money? No.
No, I don't. and that's people don't.
You're just this character that like I don't. So like I picked up on that when I like had first met you and we weren't really close friends. This is sometime I guess, around back in the day at J&J's basement.
Yeah.
And I distinctly remember my wallet went missing. I think I had left it in someone's car that day.
It was
but I thought I brought it in the basement. And Richie was the kind of guy at the time, like, we weren't like as close of friends as we are now, but we were still like around the same people, and I was able to get the cadence. I was able to pick up, oh, this dude's a troll. You know, this dude likes to
I
mess
want
with
to say
people.
that
He likes to
hey, man,
mess
do you
around.
have my wallet?
Because it was like fairly early-ish. It was like 1, 2 o'clock. And one of the first things I remember Richie saying to me, I had a beer, and we were helping with this show that we were all working on together. Again, weren't as close friends, and Richie's like, you have a beer right there? And I was like, yeah. He's like, man, how sad is your life? And so at that point, immediately, I'm like, all right, this is that guy.
That is motivational trolling.
And so
like, all of his trolling is positive and motivation.
Right. Trying to put me in a better place. And so then I distinctly remember asking you like 2 times looking for that. Like, are you sure you didn't take my? Like
you're like, hey, let me see your wallet.
Yeah,
and I was like,
his wallet's black, just like mine. And you know, he was thriving on it because he knows exactly what's happening. He knows that he's being not accused, but he's being thought of because he is who he is, and he looks and acts the way he does.
Oh man, it's the
I'm
best.
typecasting you in my own sense.
You know, one time I was in Dallas and I couldn't get back to Denton till the next day. And this guy and his wife were like, hey, you can come stay at our house tonight. We'll just drive you back tomorrow. And I was like, all right, cool. And so I had been drinking and stuff. And so I went over to their house. They went to sleep. I went to sleep. No big deal. Well, the next morning they woke up and the guy goes, hey, man, you're a good guy. And I was like, what? And he goes, I left my wallet sitting right next to your head with $600 cash, and it's all still there. And I was like, dude, what did you just think I was just – he's like, I did that to test you.
Had you have known there was $600
he put you in
this
situation.
He put me in this – I mean, I hadn't even known. I didn't even see it.
Man,
but at the
magic,
same time, I wouldn't care. Like,
disappeared.
if I wanted money, I would do magic and be like, hey, by the way, don't you think this is worth $20? And every time they would say yes.
I'm so cheap, I wouldn't even test people. Why not just like lock away the wallet?
Exactly.
You know, why even test somebody?
But hey, I passed, and now we're not friends.
In the hypothetical sense, I happen to lay my wallet down by you while you're sleeping. I now know that you would be that guy. Like, what is the?
Go outside.
Well, here's the thing. He laid it next to my head while I was sleeping and didn't tell me about it till after he woke me up. So unless
didn't
I'm
even
like
know it
some
was there.
sleepwalking robber, like.
That's weird. That man is more of a psychopath than anybody
who
would actually take the wallet. That man is more of a psychopath.
He had a bunch of vases around his house that looked like
vases.
Vases.
Like
a vase.
Vase.
Is it a vase or a vase?
I think he's saying the correct plural.
I feel like. So
he had many of
if it's in the plural form,
it's plural for
it's
vase.
vase.
I don't know.
It's not vases.
Okay, see, this is once again your image and
like
your cadence. I don't know if
like
I can take you serious.
So. They all
Jake,
look like
fact check. Jake, vase or vase? Uh-oh. He's
I didn't know we had
so
a fact check.
They look like
we got
urns.
a fact checker.
They look like urns, and I thought that that's what they were.
Urns or yearns? I'm sorry.
Urns. The ones that you keep.
Yearns is plural.
They look like urines.
Urines.
Which is like 10 of them. But I remember being like, hey, are these like your family members? And he's like, it's pottery. And I was like, okay, never mind.
It's pottery.
What
is it, Jake?
I'm still looking at. Some people are saying vase is the only term you're supposed to use. I don't know.
I feel like Richie made this website. I feel like Richie made this Wikipedia site.
I mean, well, and I don't want to interrupt y'all's flow, but
we're being told vase.
What kind of baller were you hanging out with that had $600 cash in his wallet?
That's what I want.
The same type of
and vases,
the same type of baller that would just invite a stranger into their home and then just test them.
Yeah, I didn't know him very well.
That is so weird.
Here's the thing: I went to sleep watching because I was drunk. I went to sleep and I remember the Devil Wears Prada was on, and then I woke up. Devil's Wears Prada's still on. Like HBO had like this. We're gonna just keep playing this movie all day
because it's wonderful.
But that guy, the guy ended up he like invented stuff. I don't know.
He invented stuff.
You should see the houses I've stayed at randomly.
I feel though like you had every right to take that wallet at that.
Man,
point,
I have a great story
about
about a random mansion I stayed in, but I'm sorry, I'm killing momentum because I can't talk about it. I just realized.
No, yeah,
there was a secret room with cameras.
Nice.
Yeah, it was weird. It was at a party, and I just happened to walk in. I was like, oh, just like to the actual room, nothing weird.
You're not
thing
gonna
to walk
stop.
into.
You're not gonna start sobbing, are you?
I
Is it
actually-
one of those-
I had a friend. I had a friend one day. My mom
This
lived
is a
in.
safe space, right?
I shouldn't have gone there.
My
Since we're
mom
being played in the lobby. This is a safe space, right?
My mom lived in Austin, and I had a friend who goes, "Hey man, you want to come to this? You want to come to this mansion party for a week?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And he's like, "It's in Austin," and I was like, "Oh, cool. Well, my mom lives in Austin. I'll go like visit
Mansion
my
party
mom."
for a week.
Yeah, they had just these. It was these
It's
people
called the
who made
Westing game.
They made this movie, and after they were done, there was like a rap party. So
obscure reference.
I just went to go hang out with them and be a weirdo with all these like producers and stuff.
Weirdos.
I was trying to get
Went
like
to be a
my own
weirdo with
show.
weirdos.
People
Yeah.
leaving their wallets.
A bunch
right
of
next to
wallet
you.
people.
Just
Everyone's
a-
like, "Hey, have you seen?"
just-
I
you're
wake
just-
up, there's 20 wallets.
People
around
with
me.
many a boss. A lot of boss.
Bunch of bosses.
So much boss.
You're like, I gotta have a lot of patience right now.
Yeah.
There's dirty wallets around me.
But
I
they
just
had
came
jet
here for the
skis.
boss.
They had jet skis, and the whole time I was like, man, I'm too cool for like. I actually didn't even have fun.
I'm too cool for.
I was
jet
too cool for
skis.
jet skis, and then the last hour I was there for a week.
Too cool for jet skis.
Rode the jet skis, had the time of my life.
Well,
I wanted to
it's
get
not
jet
too
skis.
cool.
But what was weird about it was my mom ended up living right across the like my mom's house was right here. Directly across the street was this mansion on the lake, and my mom lives in it was like a duplex or something like this.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I forgot what I was saying. But
I believe
jet skis.
I believe the pronunciation for that is duplay.
duplay.
I just imagine
like
Richie like around all this boss. Is that
All
how I
this
say it?
boss.
All this boss.
Dude, it's cool.
And
I have it on my
it's like,
Snapchat.
It's like in Zelda when Link would walk in the room with all of the pottery and you'd like break them and he gets
Yeah.
like rupees.
Coins.
There's just a little
Yeah.
$600 wallet in each like vase he breaks.
It's funny
Like
because
Crash Bandicoot.
even though I was at this place with this, like, I was there and I was, like, welcomed, there's a lot of times where I just know, like, I'll never be here again because this is not, like, these people don't really like me. I don't even know
You did the
how
whole,
I got
you
here.
did the whole Jim Carrey thing.
What?
Where, like,
What
They
is
didn't
this?
really like
the whole
you?
Jim Carrey thing where it's like, no, none of these people exist.
Yeah, this is just like, I'm at this mansion.
I
and
don't
these people have all
exist.
these vases, but
That's so funny.
This is all materialistic.
they like me because I'm like, I'm very novelty for people like that. They're like, oh yeah, Richie, have you heard his stories?
Yeah,
Richie,
yeah.
come tell
You're-
the stories, and they're like all these CEOs.
You're like
and I'm like,
you're their Frodo Baggins.
Yeah.
you're their man.
I can relate to that.
I mean, I remember being young,
Why is
and
that?
I lived.
You
My
look
friend
like
lived.
a
in,
hobbit.
Well, no, you've gone to parties where like nobody knows you except one person, and
Yeah.
they like introduce you as a comedian. And
Oh,
then
that's
just,
the worst.
They're just like, oh,
Magician, I'm
he's
assuming
always
Richie
funny.
too.
He's always funny. This guy, and
Well,
then
here's
just
how it is.
everybody expects you.
Nobody
and then
knows
and
me.
then like your grandmother
I
died
walk-
that day, and you're just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh,
I walk
why
in-
am I at a party in the
Your
first place?
grandmother died. Yeah, it's always the death of a friend or family member where you decide to go out to a party.
Hey, this guy's a comedian. He'll make all of this better.
Well,
Tell us a joke, clown.
It'll usually be I walk into a place, 20
Grandmama's
minutes,
boy.
nobody knows me except the one person, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, this is hey Richie, do you have your cards?" And I'm
Yeah.
it started. Now I'm gonna be everybody's here's favorite person, and then I do magic because
But with you, it's like, oh, I wasn't prepared for this, and then you just start
yeah,
pulling
I
out
go.
the handkerchiefs.
I
out of
always
your
go.
sleeve.
Oh, I actually don't have any cards.
Hey,
Magic,
pulls
who's
them
ready?
Out the pocket.
And then just a dove.
Yeah. And even though I probably seem like confident and ready, I'm never confident. I'm never ready in my mind. I'm like, I'm just waiting for someone to be like, he has a string. And everyone's like, yeah, it's just a string. You're dumb. And then he's
Isn't it
just
ever
a string guy.
Isn't
No.
it ever just a string though? It's never a string.
I mean, there's theories.
Theoretically a string. So a busy October. I like how that like
Great
this
segue.
this all started with a busy October and then we got into Richie's life story.
Yeah, very busy October. We have the North Texas Comedy Festival.
We do,
the
do.
5th through the 7th.
Oh, boy.
And then today,
Which me and Dan happen to be the president and vice president of the
Right,
board. Look at
that's-
this.
That's why it's crumbling. That's
All
why
right,
it's
that's why it's going to pieces. You know, they told us not to get too political on this show.
that's why
but
it will
we
fail.
run this town. You know, that's
No, absolutely not.
Sorry, Commerce.
According to the intro,
Sorry.
I'm just some old dude.
Just some old silver.
I think you're
fox.
talking about Jeff Dunham, but here's the funny part because nobody really knows.
Yeah.
Nobody
who
really
he
knows.
was referencing. Nobody knows.
Well, I'm
Name
older
plug.
than Jeff Dunham's puppets.
So, Comedy Festival, October 5th through 7th.
And then today, October 4th, I will be in the
That's not today.
No. Today I heard. Today I was told that October 4th.
Funniest comic in Texas.
Funniest comic in Texas qualifier. And
Cool.
if I
That's
get
awesome.
through that, that'll be my 7th time in the funniest comic in Texas.
It'll be my
competition.
2nd year in it, too.
See, that's the year you want. You want it to be like your 2nd or 3rd year, and then you want to win it.
Yeah.
I'm at my 7th time right now.
Right.
I wish you would have won it, and I wish you had a Netflix special before this particular interview, because my intro would have been a little funnier because I have a joke that only makes sense if you had a Netflix special.
Yeah.
So
no, I'm the
bummer.
Leo
Get there.
DiCaprio,
Next time.
the funniest comic in Texas right now. I just
Hey.
need to wrestle a bear
You just
on the
need to-
stage,
yeah.
and then I'll finally win it.
You just need to wrestling. That's what we call it these days.
But
so North Texas Comedy Festival, the 5th
through the 7th. I'll be performing on the 7th, but I'll be there all week.
So festival-wise, what do we have? We have the 5th. That's Killer's Tacos.
That's Killer's Tacos.
That is 7:30 start, I believe.
Yes.
Let me pull this up.
Can we pull that up, actually?
Yeah, we can.
We should know this off the top of our head.
No, we absolutely should.
I've heard him
And-
talk about this many a times with the
and
security guard on the square.
And then I don't. I know we have a show Friday at I'm not even gonna.
All right,
finish.
so
I'm not
North
even
Texas
gonna try.
Comedy Festival. Which first off, we have 3 of our. Oh, I guess we even have a 4th headliner now.
Yeah.
All 4 of our headliners are Texas comics.
Yep.
We have Slade Ham, who's our big headliner. He's
Yep.
from Beaumont, Texas.
From Beaumont,
You've known
Texas.
Slade for a while.
We go back all the way to my first day of comedy. That was the guy who owned my local comedy club in Beaumont, and
What club was that?
Comedy Texas. Yeah.
Is that around anymore?
No,
I'm assuming
no,
not
no.
in Beaumont. I mean, not that.
You're from Beaumont?
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
that it's any
That's why
slight
I
on
started
hand.
comedy.
Slade, I feel like that's probably a pretty hard place to have a club in.
Well, what happened was it was going good for a while in the. It was
Kind of
used to
the end of
be-
that boom.
Used to be in the Hilton, but then
Yeah.
Hurricane Rita happened after it moved it into its own building, and then just since the hurricane.
Yeah.
But Slade taught me a lot. Like after every open mic, he would bring in the headliner of that week, and the headliner would come to the open mic, and there was only 7 or 8 of us. So after the open mic, sit us down, tell us, hey, don't do this joke, do this joke. Helped us with timing and everything, and it helped a lot with my growth as a comic and stuff. But
So that's one of the guys like that. I guess that's is that one of your first club experiences? One of your first comedy club?
Yeah, the first comic I ever saw live was the Pitbull. What's his name?
Your first
Bobby
comic you saw was
Slayton.
Pitbull. Okay.
Yeah, Pitbull. Yeah,
Mr. International.
Yeah, Mr.
Mr.
Worldwide.
305.
Mr. Worldwide. Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Worldwide.
Still my
the guy
favorite.
Who does the pelvic thrust.
Yeah.
And
Still
that.
my favorite unintentional comic. Yeah.
Mr. International, Mr. Worldwide, Mr. 305.
Yeah, all those
Sir
nicknames.
Pitbull.
All those nicknames. But Bobby Slayton, and then that's when I met Ralphie May and just a lot of
Ralphie?
cool people. Yeah.
It was the most. I made a reference earlier. Do you know CJ Short, Danzy? He showed
I
you out
do.
earlier. He's live commenting. Yeah, it was the most
What's up,
dangerous
CJ?
game, not the Westing game. But the Westing game was another book where they murdered a bunch of people that were partying in a mansion. Right?
Yeah.
Look that up, CJ.
The
Let me know.
have you ever
Let
read-
me know if I'm right, CJ.
And thanks for the shirt compliment, Angel.
And CJ, also, you should check out The Monkey's Paw.
What's that? That's a
an
kung
easy
fu
read.
movie, right?
It's an easy
Or
read.
book.
It's a little book about some paw. I don't know, CJ.
I recommend
paw.
Mark Wade's Daredevil.
Look at
I
this.
don't read books. I
Joe
read
Coffey's book club.
Yeah.
How adorable.
We're
So
all
like
gonna
Slade,
read.
so Slade comedy where that was like your first club experience as a young comic.
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah, and then we'd go back and forth to Houston and do the Laugh Stop
Nice.
back when it was around, and then we'd go to Lake Charles, Louisiana. We were just so
That's
focused on open mics and shows.
it's cool. He watched sets and gave feedback. There's a lot of these proud comics who they really hate the clubs, and whenever they give you they watch and they tell you what to do, what not to. And it's really they're not saying. Some are genuinely trying to help you in the big picture, but a lot of them are saying hey, if you just want to work here for now, which get those chops in and build up to where you can tell these other jokes. They're kind of just telling you for that starter's reference point.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, to work here, maybe go this way.
Don't do this material. That's really
And then when
funny,
you get
but no
that
one's gonna
work
book
that
it. Yeah.
weekend, it's kind of an irreplaceable thing because you really don't get to you don't get to deal with that in most starting out you don't get that. So there's a lot of clubs that don't care that much to do that.
I think
you know what I
the
mean? There's a
magic-
lot of
The magic spot in a comedy club is to be a feature because the crowd's already warmed up and you have more things you can talk about.
Yeah.
And if the crowd's not warmed up, they're just excited. Like, let's say the opener stinks. They're excited to make if you're funny, you know?
So do you prefer club or bar? Like bar shows or club shows?
It depends on the bar venue.
because you're pretty good for bar shows.
Are they not the same?
You have a pretty high. You have a high energy and.
Well, you got to keep it like that. You got to do bar venues with high energy, and you got to talk to them like you're at a bar. If you try to perform like you're in a club, people are just going to talk.
It's like that drinking buddy thing. You know, you got to talk to them like they're your drinking buddy.
I guess because if
Stanhope effect.
If you've been following along from episode 1 through 15 at least, we used to like to ask,
which Danzy totally has.
Yeah, we used to.
I saw the Flat Earth episode, and I was mad that you booked the Flat Earth guy before you booked me, because it just seemed like everybody was getting on the show but me. I was like, oh, he'll get me. He'll book me.
With all due respect,
and then the Flat Earth guy.
With all due respect, Flat Earth pulled a lot of attention at the time.
I said, let's go with my Round Earth episode. I'll bring science books.
Bringing on the Round Earther.
But that brings me to my question because
ever heard of one of these?
Just a globe and then just
the way that Josie's comedy, he usually relates it to 2 emotions.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this! Wow.
Okay. Richie's breaking it down right now.
Love and hate.
Love and hate.
The 2 most obvious of the emotions, right? Like, what do you love? What do you hate about comedy?
Oh, I hate you so much. What do you love and hate about Richie co-hosting the show for 19 episodes?
I don't hate any of it. I watch the show because of Richie. That's
I only do the show because of
so, what do you hate about comedy?
Otherwise, I'd have to be interesting.
Is that a serious? What do I love? What do I hate?
That's good. That's a good question.
Still from our first 15 episodes.
Wow.
Just pulling stuff out. I love the control that someone can have when they have a microphone.
Normally the answer is laughs, and I want to punch the person.
Well, let me ask you this about that.
Because that's not guaranteed.
Let me ask you this about control. I feel like there's a certain type of comedian who nobody could heckle you. Right?
Yeah.
Nobody would heckle you because you have control of that room that you're in, right? And so it's like magic. So when I do magic,
I will say before you finish that's situational though. That's not like a guy who, no matter what, he's never not going to get heckled.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a person who sees that guy and is like, all right, I can take it. All right, anyway.
But like, okay, so
you're talking about
I'm doing magic
in this one moment, in this one room, this guy can, out of all the comics, he's not going to get heckled because he's got it.
So if I'm doing magic and I come up to you and I don't know you and I say, hey, I'm about to show you some magic. It's going to blow your mind. Right away.
Am I on like a fake prank show?
Well,
hold on.
right away, you don't want it to work because, I just told you I was going to do magic to you.
Yeah.
Most people want to figure it out, and they're like, so they're very like, okay, well, show me then. Okay, blah, blah, blah. But if I go, hey, you want to see something crazy?
Of course I'm going to be like, yeah.
You're like, yeah, what's up? And then I don't even make it seem like I'm trying to trick them. I just show them something cool. And now all of a sudden, there's no way that person can like come at me aggressive, like, oh yeah, well, because I've like. So I wonder if it's in comedy if there's that same kind of.
As a comic though, I do like that audience member that like they're talking, they're just and then you get their attention. You're like, hey, listen to me. I promise I'll make you laugh. Because then you have that challenge where they kind of do the thing Richie said, where they fold their arms, they get all shoulders up to the ears, and they do the okay, make me laugh. And then you have something in your pocket that can do that. And then when you get them to smile and you have them hooked in right there,
it works on everybody.
That's a high risk maneuver.
You and I have
that's a high risk, high reward maneuver kind of thing. But that is a fun.
You have a different
audience member to game.
You have a different reaction to this than I do. If I see someone doing this, they're part of the show now. Like I'm gonna make everybody laugh at you, and you're gonna leave.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, I thought you meant like making them laugh, and
no, because you address them, and you're like, okay, like you've done every comic's done this before, where you see that one person. They're not enjoying it exactly. They're part of the show where you're like, I've done this I'm gonna make this person laugh. You said it on the stage in the microphone to that person, and that kind of makes them giggle, But they take it as a challenge at that point, And that's the best feeling when you have some stuff and you're like, all right, I got you, and then you just start drilling them, and then when they finally laugh, and then all the audience sees that guy laughing or girl, and then they all die.
It heightens,
and then you've gotten the whole control.
You can just leave after that.
You've gotten control of 30+ people based on this one person who wasn't enjoying it. Even if you gained one other laugher, if all 29 were laughing and you just got that one guy might now be laughing the hardest.
Yeah.
Well, I would even say
adding volume to that.
As
room.
someone who's only watched comedy, there's certain points where I've seen someone like heckle you, and when you go back, like not go back and
heckle
forth,
me?
But you say something.
Heckle me or like a big you, like
no, you, right? So there's a weird like, oh my god, the comedian heard that guy.
Yeah.
And so as an audience, because I've even come up to you after and I was like, hey, dude, like, was that written? And you're like, dude, I don't even know what I said. And I was like, no way. Like, that was amazing. And I was like, first it caught my attention because, like, wait, he's not taking that from people disrespecting him while he's up here, even though it's, like, fun. You know what I mean? But then, so he, like, had my attention there, and then to follow it up with actual, like, oh, my gosh,
well,
that's
and
super
Danzy's
funny.
similar to this. I'm a very reactionary comic, and I'm good at roasting. So if I get that situation, if I get a situation where someone tries to upstage me while I'm on, like an audience member tries to upstage me, or if I get the chance to do crowd work, that's only going to make my set better. But here's the thing is when I first started, I had to learn the difference. And if new comics are listening, we have a bunch of fairly new open micers that listen to the show. There's a difference between dismantling that guy and still making him laugh and having him on your side. And, you know, like almost self-deprecating him to the point he loves it as opposed to attacking.
You don't want to attack the audience.
Well, I mean, when I had started, you know, a lot of people, that just comes with reps of comedy because you see guys like Stanhope or these guys that they've literally gone up and destroyed people, and it's gotten this big laugh because they had this fan base, you know? But when you first start that, you don't...
People know that's what they're going to do.
Like a lot of starting comics, I had made the mistake at times of when someone had talked, I've been like, oh, F you, yada, yada, you suck, your life's terrible, your wife hates you, and all this stuff, and then people just start to feel bad, and then you realize you're not doing comedy, you're then just bullying a person.
And then you have to get off stage.
It's
and
an eye for an eye
person.
thing. Oh, dude, best story ever was, I don't know if you were at Backyard on Bell one time.
I wasn't.
Okay.
I've never seen a show at Backyard. I've been meaning to.
I don't know if I've talked about this on this show, but it's just I'll be brief with it. That Motel 6 joke where I asked what the slogan of Motel 6.
Yeah.
I had some guy instead of...
That's right, I remember
He
this
shouted out F you instead of the slogan.
I love Motel 6.
And he wasn't saying... And it turns out he wasn't saying F me, like, screw you, Joe Coffey. He was just saying it to be funny, to get a laugh. I just saw a bald head bob when it was said, though, and I couldn't see the guy's face, so I just roasted him, like, hard as crap for being a bald man. And it was, like, it was funny, and people were loving it. It wasn't bullying. Like, they started... Well, it was bullying, but the crowd was loving it. And it got to this point where then I get off stage, and it was my PSAT teacher from high school. And he was drunk, and he felt so bad. And he didn't even know it was me. He came out to apologize. And he lied to me because he's like, Joe Coffey, I'm a big fan. I was like, dude, Mr. Whatever. I'm not going to say his name. I was like, I'm Joe Johnson from your whatever class. And you can see his eyes got big. He felt so much worse
Did he go back?
after.
Did he go back and change your PSAT score?
No, but it should. It's funny. He used to yell at me for, like, talking in class, you know, and I yelled at him for talking during my presentation.
Why were you in a PSAT class? What is that?
That's,
Isn't that just like the SAT?
You never
That's
took,
like
no. It's the pre-SAT.
It's the pre-game show to the SAT.
You go to a class. You normally have a teacher you don't have, and they put you in a room with people like. So I was Joe. For those that don't know, I am actually Joe Johnson. Joe Coffey's a stage name. Oh my goodness.
Stage name?
Stage names.
He's
are
a phony.
Why would you ever tell anybody?
He's a phony.
Stage names are so hacky,
especially from a man named Dan Danzy.
Or Richie
so hacky
with the same name.
Richie Flo's definitely a stage.
I'm gonna be Joe Josie.
Joe Josie.
And Danzy. But they put you in those classes. You know about that. But I was with all the J's. You've never had a PSAT class? Where'd you go to school again? Why are you throwing up your hands?
What school did you drop out of, Richie?
Which time? Which time?
What school did you drop out of to go to magic school?
Well, because I remember, like, my third year of 10th grade, I was talking to my principal about going a fourth year, and then they sent me directly to Hogwarts.
Talking to my principal about a fourth year.
You know, I like this show because we've kind of been on topic, but we keep going so far astray that I'm going to bring it back. North Texas Comedy Festival.
Hey.
So, yes, Killers.
That's what I hate about comedy, is North Texas.
So, well, that was from Slade. We got there from Slade, Beaumont, Texas, one of the main headliners. He's going to be at Black Box Theater the 7th at 8 p.m. So let me read everyone here the schedule for those that don't know.
It's going to be a very hectic schedule.
Oh, it's very hectic. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday festival. So 5 stages, 35 plus comics. October 5th, we will be at Killers Tacos, 8 o'clock p.m. So 8 p.m., show up to Killers. Our headliner will be Lawrence Rosales.
Very funny.
Very good friend, very funny, from the Dallas area. October 6th, that is Friday. We have a show at Backyard on Bell, and that'll be an awesome show. Then we have the second show at Abbey Underground, 10 p.m., Jay Whitecotton will be heading. Oh, okay. So Latrice Allen will be headlining Backyard on Bell. Another local Dallas comic headliner. She is wonderful. I've worked at Hyenas with her numerous times. So October 6th, let me rephrase that, Friday. Headliner, Latrice Allen, Backyard on Bell, 7 p.m.
She's actually my favorite to win Funniest Comic in Texas this year.
She might, actually. She's a killer. Then headliner Jay Whitecotton, that same Friday, will be at the second show at Abbey Underground, 10 p.m. Then October 7th, we have a thing called Saturday Afternoon. We will have live improv. We will be roasting the movie Space Jam live on a projector.
It will be absolutely free, too.
Yeah, and for even people who didn't buy festival tickets, 1 through 6 at the Bearded Monk. And our headliner that night, or that moment, will be Saffron Herndon, a 12-year-old comedy prodigy, probably the most famous comic in the DFW. Ellen, Today Show, all of it.
Good Morning America, yeah.
And then the very last show, The Slade Ham, who, as Dan said, one of the mentors of his, and he will actually be on Netflix soon on I Am Battle comic.
Yep.
Jordan Brady's he did I Am Comic, I Am Road comic. He's coming out with one I Am Battle comic where Slade and them went over to Afghanistan.
Very much
for
featured,
the troops.
Slade.
Yeah, and he's heavily involved in that documentary. So he'll be on Netflix, but he will be in Denton October 7th. This is the big main show at Black Box Theater, 8 p.m. Then we'll be after partying at Backyard on Bell with Kazoo.
Yeah.
So.
It's gonna be good, and also at Saturday Afternoon. If you haven't bought tickets to the festival, at Saturday Afternoon you'll be able to, if I'm correct, you'll be able to buy tickets to the rest of the shows that weekend. So you'll be able to buy tickets to the.
You mean at Killers, not Afternoon, because that's the
at
last
Killers
day.
and Afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, really, at any show you can buy tickets, right?
Is that you can buy single day tickets and stuff. I think it's going to be a good thing for Denton because we didn't have Octopia this year. That's still up in the air. So we need a festival around this time.
I'm figuring out if they're going to be able to pull it out in the next 2 days or not.
Richie will have.
Last year was like September 22nd.
Richie will let us all know ASAP.
That'd be so funny if it was just tomorrow. And
we got about 2 days. I think if they don't make the announcements tonight, then
But it's pretty tight. I mean, we have 35 plus comics.
Yeah.
4 local. We have 4 Texas headliners. I guess 5 if you include Safi. 5 different stages. All
comics from all over the country.
And some venues that have done a lot for the comedy scene out here. So it's going to be awesome, man. I mean, I'm super excited. We have worked very hard, and it's one of those things we're learning.
We've been working since the day after Denton Comedy Festival. We've been working on this, really.
So we've been having meetings since the beginning of 2017.
Yeah.
So, and we're still realizing there's things that haven't been. I'm starting to understand the thankless aspect of running a festival and how hard it might be. Because last year we only did one venue and we were helping with the other. This year with the 5, there's so many different forms of communication.
And there's the 35% of the proceeds go to charity.
Yes, they do.
So
through well for a cause.
Yeah, and there's also getting that figured out, and we wanted to do a festival that gave back to the community and didn't just make it about Denton comics or just comedy in general. Just give back to the community because
we're already rich enough, Richie.
Yeah,
no,
we already make so much money.
I mean, your name's Richie.
Yeah. Well, when I see, because I've thought about switching over to something more
lucrative, like stand-up comedy.
Yeah, something where I can actually make some
much money in this game.
Try it out.
Well, because, I can smell money right now
on both of us.
So that might be Jake.
I might pass gas.
That might be Jake.
I might have passed gas.
All right, that's what.
Pass some fast cash.
Yeah.
So, FCIT, what day are you competing for Funniest Comic in Texas?
That's my qualifier is October 4th.
Why don't you give us your...
Cool. I still don't even know what day I'm on. Give us what?
Give us your closer for that night.
I mean, I think y'all have it.
Oh, yeah, we do, actually.
Y'all do have my stuff. I'm surprised y'all found a clean clip.
Yeah,
it's very short. It's like a 2-second clip. And you go,
hi, I'm Dan Danzy.
Good night.
And just edited.
You go, I went to the...
So we do have a clip. I believe next week this clip might even have a certain Denton company sponsoring it once we get that paperwork done. But for now, we have
am I getting paid right now? For showing this by a sponsor?
This clip is sponsored by Dan Danzy. Now, this is at Hyenas in Dallas from what it looks like, right?
Which I'll be performing at Hyenas Plano, October 12th through the 15th, and then Dallas 19th through the 21st, and then Fort Worth November 2nd to the 4th. That's my busy month.
Yeah, December is my busy Hyenas month. So, Hyenas Dallas, when was this? Pretty recently, right?
This was August 10th.
Okay.
8-10.
Well, let's play that. Sponsored by blah, 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 blah.
All right, well, I'm just going to go with it. So I talked about doing stuff for charity. Well, one of the other things I like to do is, like, me and my buddy Dylan, we like to go on Halloween to the children's hospitals, all dressed up and just, like, make their day. We do it every year. It's great. However, this past year, we invited my buddy Gabe. Now, Gabe's a good guy. He's just completely oblivious and has no common sense, you know, but he's good people. Right? So he's like, oh, y'all are doing that? I'd like to do it. Yeah, dress up anything you want. Come on down. Right? So we get there, and I'm in my Robin costume, and I look pretty dope, because there's only 2 superheroes I can pull off, like Robin and then that raccoon from that Guardians movie, right? Dylan's got his, like, Superman suit on, and he looks dope, right? Gabe shows up 5 minutes late, walks around the van. He is dressed up as the Grim Reaper to visit, this is absolutely true, to visit terminally ill children. He's like, you think the kids will like this? I was like, none of these kids are Ebenezer Scrooge, Gabe. I don't think it's going to hit the way you want to. That is a Christmas joke and a Halloween joke. Where's my Netflix special? So we walk in there, they see me, Robin. Wow, yeah, Robin! Dylan walks in, Superman. Wow, Superman! Gabe walks in, dead silence. No pun intended. Dead silence. And then a little kid out of the corner goes, oh, he must be here for Kevin! Thank you, I'm Dan Danzy. Have a good night.
The swift, I like the walk immediately off the long. Okay, goodbye.
Yeah, I should bring.
That's a lot of weird awes for a hypothetical Kevin.
The next time I'm gonna bring a video of that joke not working. I love it when that joke doesn't work.
I wish you would have sent that. That would be funny.
I haven't recorded it at all.
That would be funny to see, like, back to back. You know what I mean? No. Wow, you just gave us a thing that we should do on this show.
When it doesn't work, it is just like watching someone die.
Why doesn't it work?
Hilarious.
Because some people don't want to go that
dark.
Don't
want to laugh at a terminally ill kid named Kevin.
Hypothetical. And the story of that joke was like that happened in high school. Like my buddy Gabe.
I was gonna say, was that a true story? Entirely?
Yeah, that's a true story. My buddy Gabe went to go visit kids and like the yearbook.
They didn't say he's here for Kevin though, did
no,
they?
No.
That's a funny kid.
The yearbook crew took pictures of him in high school, and like he brought the yearbook and he was like, check it out, I visited some kids.
Wait, took pictures of who?
A Gabe visiting the kids. So there really was a Gabe. His
I thought
name
your
is Gabe
yearbook
Gonzalez.
crew was just showing up to the children's hospital, just taking like
so
World War II hospice pictures of them.
So he's in this group in theater. He's in this group of girls, and he's like, "Yeah, check it out. I visited the kids." And I walked up, and just the whole blocking type of moment, I went, "You're dressed up as the Grim Reaper to visit dying kids," and then all the girls just walked away from him.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know what he's doing now. We're not Facebook friends, but Gabe, thank you for
What
that
happened
joke.
with you and Gabe?
You know, people graduate high school and then they just move on.
Block you from Facebook.
You know,
people graduate from high school and then they just remove you from their life entirely.
Yeah. My 10-year reunion is.
Is it really?
This year, next year, and the next year. Huh?
Are you going? You should let me go.
I
have to go.
You should let me go
as
you.
Well, my friend said that he really wanted me to go, and that.
Oh man, can you interview people for our intro at your high school?
Yeah. Here's the thing. Here's the problem. I mean, I've gotten a message.
Richie, what have you been up to? So I'm here with Denton Radio.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
I've gotten
John.
a message from somebody who
Joe
asked
Coffey.
me for like $10,000 before. So like, people back home think I've done something.
Oh, because you get because they think social media likes it.
They never come to my shows. They never understand that there's 14 people there.
But they think you're famous.
I'm all over social media like, yeah, everyone loves me. Look at all my fans. And they buy it. So one time this girl's like, hey, I know we haven't talked in 10 years, but I just have a question for you. And I was like, yeah, what's up? Like, do you love me after all these years? And she's like, I just need like $8,000 to $10,000 and I'll pay you back when I get my income tax. And I'm like, I felt bad on like 3 levels. 1, because I didn't have $10,000 and she thought I did. 2, because I haven't talked to her in 10 years and the first thing she's going to ask me for is $10,000. And 3,
I thought you should.
People think I have $10,000.
I would have heard her out.
I did. She felt nauseous.
If you had $10,000, would you?
If I was asking somebody for $10,000, I'd feel nauseous too.
I mean, the day that I give someone $10,000, I'm gonna put that online. And be like,
Oh
hey, check
wow, we don't even get.
Oh, what does that mean? Does that mean we're getting a visitor from like the
Wait,
mailman or something?
Can we have 5 minutes for weird news? Can we have 5 minutes for weird news? Can we?
Whoa, that's a first.
Kill all professionality and just stop the music because we do have 2 weird news stories, and let's just get to them because man, we need a longer block. We just talk so much comedy. We love comedy so much.
I didn't even get to give away this.
Give
hookies.
away the what is
Let's
that?
do it real quick. Ask me that question.
What question?
Yeah, I was supposed to answer a question to get a prize or something.
Well, here's the thing.
There's no prizes.
We have a hookies.
He's got hookies.
All right, let's do weird.
We have one hookies.
Hookies. What
I really want that hookie.
I don't even know what a hookie is.
Number 1 through 10. Say it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I wrote down.
I did that pretty well.
Richie,
dude.
read that.
I did that. I had to look at
Costa Rica Presidente.
Luis Guillermo Solis Rivera. I think I did that pretty. That got Italian towards the end. That got kind of offensive.
That really.
Costa Rica.
Spaghetti.
You want the meatball and the pepperoni.
So this dude, this dude, the president of Costa Rica, Costa Rica. He accidentally swallowed a wasp during a live TV interview with reporters on Thursday and then laughed it off like it was nothing. There is a video.
Then shoot up the wasp.
I sent it to Jake. There's a video. Yes. You might have to turn down the ad because they're not going to sponsor. Unless they got the money. Who is that? What is
Ford.
this?
It looks
Ford.
like Ford.
This is like a 30-second ad, man.
Ford.
What is
no
this?
skip button.
We're brought to you in part
Mystery
by
Science
Classic.
Theater, the Ford commercial. What's he doing? What are they? Transit sales event, 2017 Ford Transit.
Oh, gotta get on that transit sales event.
Yeah. Okay. What is it? Classic of Denton. Check them out.
There
Okay. And look at this dude. All right, sitting there talking. This bee is just flying.
I love.
Oh
how
wait, he already swallowed it, didn't he?
Yeah, he's swallowing it right there.
Go back, Jake. Can we
I like
rewind
how
him?
he's dressed like a Budweiser delivery guy.
Look at it. Goes in, and he just like it was nothing. Swallowed that thing.
Just swallow.
And then
yeah.
laughs after he dealt with it. It's kind of a confident nod. He's like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, I totally did that.
I'm that guy.
It was delish.
Man, I mean, I'm not gonna get political, but I'm gonna say is, if our president swallowed some bees, I think the approval rating would go up. I just eat some insects.
One time I was clapping at a baseball game, and I clapped, and I looked at my hand. There was a fly
that you
killed.
killed.
Really weird.
And then the only other weird news stories in Arkansas. An Arkansas woman who worked for Garland County, Arkansas. She was working for the judge. I believe she was an administrative assistant to the judge. She's being charged for fraudulently charging $200,000 to her Garland County credit card, and one of them included a dog tuxedo, which Jake has a picture of that.
Let's see if it was worth it.
Super cute.
Was it worth it?
Yeah,
it's totally worth
that
it.
Is
six felony counts.
There's
totally
actually a name
it.
for that. That's actually called a pugsedo. I don't know if you know this.
Pugsedo.
Yeah,
Wow.
specifically for
That is so worth it.
She used the card to purchase a diamond bracelet, tickets to an Arkansas Razorbacks football game.
Oh, that's not worth it.
Sequence throw pillows, pet insurance, and a pugsedo. So,
I'm not sure if those
two weird
Razorbacks
news.
tickets. Does she get to go to the Razorbacks
Cue
game?
that music, Jake. Did she go to the Razorbacks game?
Did she get to go?
I don't know. She might have sold them for
You know,
more.
there's a Razorback in my truck.
I don't even know what that
There's
means.
a Razorback in my
I
truck.
don't. What could that mean?
Watch Rescuers Down Under.
She's been using it
I've
for
got a sandwich
years.
in my pack.
An audit found that she's been using that county credit card for years for personal purchases and pay bills. Pugsedo, I think that's pretty personal.
I guess the message of today's show was
I don't understand
learn
the
how to
problem.
spend your money.
I don't understand the problem. The dog looked great. The dog looked wonderful.
He did look
I don't
sharp.
Get it. Yeah.
In that Pugsedo.
Oh man, episode 19. Next week will be 20. I don't know what that means. That's fun.
Celebratashi.
Dan Danzy plugs. Say them again.
Go to my website, dandanzy.com.
Funniest comic in Texas.
All my show dates, October 4th, the qualifier. September 29th, I'm doing Yom Kippur. Woo! Over at Killer's Tacos. I think I'm headlining that.
Shalom.
So come out to that September 29th, but find all my show dates at dandanzy.com. Contact me on Facebook at Dan Danzy and Twitter at Dan Danzy.
And you can find me on Richie Flo, RITCHYFLO. Look at my Instagram.
Yes, and okay, is that what I thought you had a name
and
for that.
Instagram at Dan Danzy Comedy. You
gotta find it.
Twitter, Joe_coffee_. I will be at Andy's this Friday, actually doing a little album recording for Get Mel Records.
Oh,
Me and
nice.
a couple of the comics. Not for me. I will be a part of the album. There's a few other comics involved in that. Go check out Harvest House tonight. I'm not performing, but a bunch of comics are. If you're around there tonight, this Wednesday. Also, don't forget North Texas Comedy Festival, October 5th through 7th. You can get tickets at ntcomedyfest.com.
And check out our new commercial that dropped today.
Yes,
on the
absolutely. North Texas Comedy Festival on Facebook. You can watch us live here every Wednesday, 5:30. Nobody knows. Thank you, Dan.
No problem.
Yes.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicofDenton.com.